Welcome to Here to Be Human, a multi-dimensional soul. This is not just a podcast, it's a remembering. A space where soul meets skin and the sacred meets the messy. Where spirit is not something you escape into, it's something you embody here in this beautiful, chaotic, breathtaking human life. Each episode is a living transmission, a weaving of energy, truth, reflection, and remembrance, with questions for your soul, messages from beyond, and invitations to meet yourself in ways you've never dared to before. Whether you're walking through shadow or starlight, you belong here. I am Julie, your guide, your mirror, your voice in the void. This is Here to Be Human, and you are right on time. You are not here to pass a test. You are not here because something went wrong. You are here because something sacred is meant to unfold through you. This is Here to Be Human, a multidimensional soul. And you're listening to episode 2 of Season 1. The human path is not a mistake, it's an initiation. So I'm going to invite a reflection piece before we get into segment 1. And I just want you to feel into this reflection prompt for you. So what if everything you've experienced, the loss, the heartbreak, the unraveling, is not failure, but initiation? And I just want that question to linger for a moment too. Not you trying to fix anything, just being present. So as we move into segment 1, life as initiation and not punishment. So many people walk through life believing they're behind, as if suffering means they failed, as if struggle means they've taken a wrong turn. But what if pain doesn't mean you're broken? What if it means you're becoming? Initiation isn't always ceremony and sacred robes. Sometimes it's sleepless nights. Sometimes it's heartbreak. Sometimes it's being brought to your knees. Initiation is not punishment. It is a refinement of your soul through embodied experience. So let me open the space now to receive some insights about this moment on the path from spirit directly. And I encourage you, like I will in every episode, feel free to also see what insights you receive from spirit, your guides, the energy that you connect with as I'm going through. So our first question to spirit is, what is truly happening in the moment when everything falls apart? What is truly happening in the moment when everything falls apart? It's an opportunity for you to have the veil lifted. So when everything is falling apart, you may have been consciously or subconsciously not allowing yourself to see certain things, maybe not seeing certain cues, or that this situation or what you're finding yourself in was heading down this way, whether that's through career, love, family, or just wanting to really discover the self. What if along your path, you maybe didn't want to see the whole truth, or you didn't want to see what was in front of you? So what is truly happening in that moment is that a veil has been lifted, that there are fractions of you that seem to shift slightly. The same way when we see the Earth's plates shift. It's the same sensation is what I'm feeling. It's like there's a slight shift within the energy field, within the physical body. And as it's all falling apart, that slight shift, the cracks that are occurring is now allowing light, clarity, insights to move through those cracks in order to allow you to see what was, to give you steps, insights, a new direction on where to go next, but also to bring about a sense of healing into those spaces where the light can now seep through. And I'm going to keep on asking Spirit a few more questions. I have 2 more to ask them to help us understand a bit more deeper what's going on. So, what does the soul gain through heartbreak, rupture, and surrender? What does the soul gain through heartbreak, rupture, and surrender? It allows you to have a clean slate. It allows you to reset. It allows you to take a moment to pause and see if the path that you have been on this whole time with either an individual, with a career choice, or whatever is bringing a sense of heartbreak, rupture, or this surrender. It allows you that moment to again see the things that maybe you didn't see before. It allows you through the heartbreak and allows you through that rupture to surrender. It feels like when you get to that point of surrender, that's the soul saying, now we're going to go deeper. So the heartbreak or anything that's ruptured in your life, the soul gains access to you again, meaning that you are now connecting back to the self even more because the soul is working with you. It's working alongside you. It's navigating you. Sometimes we may not always be able to hear the voice of our soul. Sometimes we doubt it. And so when we have moments where our hearts are broken or our life feels like there is a rupture that's taken place, you're allowed, or you feel like now you're allowed to really connect back to the soul because now you're searching for answers as to the whys and the hows and what did I miss. And so that reconnection back to the self to try and understand what was your intuition telling you this whole time and what did you avoid seeing or what could you not see. And through all of that, what will end up happening is that you will move more into a place of surrender. And you'll begin to trust the process. And again, when we move into that surrender, we go deeper. It means that not only do we trust the process, we trust the universe, all those buzzwords that we hear people talk about, but this true deep surrender, it allows you almost like a moment of remembering what the soul already knows to be sacred. And even though you may not be able to articulate what that feels like, what that is, but there's a energy that washes over you when you go into this complete surrender. And then again, that the soul has access to you again in order to elevate you, to elevate your experience, to expand your awareness in order to see things a lot more clearly moving forward. And should any other situations arise that may be similar, that this time round there's more awareness and discernment. And our last question to Spirit in this segment is, what becomes available to us only after the breaking? Interesting. I think for a lot of us who have gone through various forms of breaking, whether it's losing a job, ending a relationship, losing a loved one, the thing that becomes the most available is humility. After all the pain that you've dealt with, after the initial shock, the grief, the sadness, which all bring things to us, what comes after all of that is a sense of humility. Meaning that you allow yourself to forgive yourself, allow yourself to realize, I am human and sometimes shit happens. And even though that was heartbreaking to go through that, there is a gift that is available to you. Because we talk a lot about humility, being humble, but living in this modern society and being human, you can't help but just either be on the go, 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 or possibly like the ego rises, or there's moments where you doubt yourself. And when you let all those aspects that are not serving you come through, you tend to miss out on the beautiful energy that humility brings. Because not only do other people around you see the humility in you, that humbleness, because it's a different frequency, you begin to feel different. You begin to see things in a different way. And most of the time, you will see things and you'll find the beauty in all that surrounds you. I like that. That was quite beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to move on to segment 2. So this is called Hidden Rites of Passage in Everyday Life. So let's go through this. So not all thresholds are obvious. Not all awakenings are beautiful. Modern life has lost the language of initiation, but your soul hasn't. Your soul remembers the sacredness of ending a relationship, starting again from nothing, telling the truth when your voice shakes, losing someone and still waking up the next day, choosing yourself after a lifetime of abandoning your needs. And each of these moments is a rite of passage. So let's just bring some remembrance here while we connect with Spirit to gain us some more insights. So how does the soul recognize a threshold even when the mind does not? Okay, so how does the soul recognize a threshold even when the mind does not? Oh, interesting. Let's have a look. The soul recognizes the threshold before anything happens. So before there is a breakdown or a breakup or anything along those lines, what I'm being shown, it's almost like as if there's one more hurdle for you to go through, or one more test, so to speak, universal lesson, the universal test that comes through. And it's in that moment before you have that last test, that last kind of like leap of faith or step forward. It's in that moment that the soul recognizes this is a threshold. And if you do take that leap of faith, if you do take that step forward, It already knows what you're about to do. Ooh, okay. So it seems like your soul, and you may feel this. I know I have. And that's why like this is kind of hitting a little bit different. You know, when it's like your intuition says, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Or like if you know something like, oh, I should be doing this. And I'll give you the two scenarios. So, you know, when you're like, oh, no, 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 don't do it, don't do it, do it. And then you do it and you go over that threshold. It's like the soul goes, okay, here we go. They've done it. But growth is going to come from it regardless, because whatever has transpired, whether you perceive it to be good or bad, there is going to be growth through that. So the mind hasn't necessarily caught up, because what's happened is your mind has overridden intuition. It's overridden like you're knowing that you shouldn't be doing something. And the same goes for when our intuition is like saying, this is right, this is right, this is right, go, 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 go for it, go for it. But then our mind creates the doubt. So the soul already knows, oh, you're gonna jump over that. You're gonna cross that threshold, and there's gonna be growth for you. And that's where that your mind doesn't believe it. It creates doubt, but that somehow energetically your soul, your body just goes, you just take that leap of faith and you jump in it. And then once you're in it, you're like, actually, that one's so bad. And I feel like, again, there will be growth from it. That's what it feels like when you're in that remembrance of you moving forward in this rite of passage to really like honor the language of your initiation. Yeah. All the things that, modern life has lost, but the soul remembers, this is what's happening. So the soul's recognizing it before you do it. And this is where those little cues of intuition kick into play, or moments of doubt. The moments of doubt when you're not listening to intuition, when you know you should be going for it, like when you know this is everything that you've been trying to work for. So why aren't you moving forward? What's stopping you? It's those fears, those doubts. And then on the flip side, your intuition is screaming at you, and the soul's recognizing, oh, shit, like what's going to happen here? You're going to do the thing that I'm telling you don't do, don't do, don't do. And however, it doesn't really matter, because growth is coming from both scenarios. So that's kind of what I'm getting with that particular question. And so the next question, and again, I encourage you all to sit with these questions as well on your own to see what might be coming up for you specifically. So let's have a look at what unseen initiations are woven into ordinary human experience. So what unseen initiations are woven into ordinary human experience? Interesting. What unseen initiations are woven into human experience? Now, if you're wondering why I keep repeating the question, like I don't know the questions before I jump on to do each episode. They're just generated and I slot them in, but I don't read them. So that's why you might find me in all these episodes go, why does she keep repeating them? So it's just because I don't know what I'm going to ask spirit. So I'm in the same boat as you. Alrighty. Again, so what unseen initiations are woven into ordinary human experience? There's a rise of creation, the divine feminine energy within you, regardless of gender. And through this rise of that divine feminine energy that lives within all of us, it is coming up through the sacral chakra, the creative space. And as it's rising up, it lands in your heart space in order to link the creative aspects that your soul knows that you came here to do. So your heart and your emotions can have a sense of remembrance of what you're meant to do here and the steps that you're meant to take and the experiences that you're meant to have. And so this unseen initiation allows you to feel more deeply. And it has this kind of sensation that I'm feeling, sometimes when you go somewhere, you do something and you haven't done it before, but you just have this deep either love for it or a connection to it, but you don't know why. That's those unseen initiations that are happening. Everything is coming from a place of that divine feminine rising, which is the creative energy. That divine masculine that's within all of us is the actionary, like let's take this idea of yours and make it a reality. But before we get to that point, it's that creative flow that's allowing your heart to expand, to begin to experience different levels of love, so to speak, and connection in order for you to feel more deeply, whether it's for somebody else, whether that is for a passion project. That's what these unseen initiations are. Oh, I love that. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to invite a reflection piece for you. So I want you to think about a moment in your life that felt a little bit devastating or sad, or just you feel like, how did that go wrong? And while you sit in this space, remembering that moment, I want you to ask yourself, did something wiser, truer, or more real emerge after it? And I just want to encourage you to honor it as a threshold that you've crossed as well. So we'll sit here for a moment. Did something wiser, truer, or more real emerge after it? Now, as we move into segment 3, integration is the initiation. So it's not just what happens that changes us, it's what we do with it. Do we embody the lesson? Do you integrate the energy? Do you remember who you are after the shedding? Initiation isn't just an event. It's a commitment to live differently on the other side. So the soul evolves not by escaping the hard parts, but by walking through them with presence, honesty, and devotion. So let me pause here to receive what else wants to come through from spirit. So how do we know when an initiation has been integrated? Oh, this is a good one. Because I do find that a lot of people, including myself in the past, before I was conscious of this, and obviously through the help of spirits, kind of how I became more conscious of it, we do a lot of things to ascend and to kind of do something more spiritual. And then sometimes we do all these courses and classes, and then we don't know how to integrate it into our everyday life. And then we forget about them and everything we've learned and the practices that we're meant to kind of bring into space, into our human experience. And so this is kind of where I feel like we're missing that point of, whether it's spiritual lessons or classes and kind of connecting with a concept or a new way of being that you've learned, that the bridge to integrating it, that's where I feel like we're missing that really big piece. Because once we integrate it, it becomes us. And so I think that's how we know when an initiation has been integrated. It becomes you. It is the natural part of you. It's a living, breathing piece of the puzzle that makes up everything about you. So when you do learn something new, when you have grown from experience, it will change you. And when you feel changed, when you feel that you have been moved, and when you feel that it is instinctively this new version of you or this new piece of you is instinctively within, and you do it as second nature, you have fully integrated that piece into your human experience. Now, there are some spiritual practices out there that I feel like can be difficult to fully integrate, especially if it's the need to tap into a lot of plant medicines and purging and whatnot. And all of that has a place, and everyone's, it's everyone's choice what they're wanting to do with it. But I do find that I find a lot of people struggle with integrating the experience of, say, going to some type of plant medicine ceremony, because what they gain from it is a sense of euphoria and enlightenment in a moment, and they get all these insights, and those insights are quite profound. But I would say for those doing that, if you're looking at how do I now integrate this amazing experience that I have into my human life without necessarily having to consistently go and have these ceremonies in order to feel that connection on a daily basis, I would encourage you to use more gentler practices such as your meditations, sound bath, taking a bath, kind of allowing the human body to allow the coding, to allow the frequency of what you've experienced into itself. It's only when we disassociate from the human body and a spiritual practice that it can feel like it's really difficult to fully integrate. So if you are having some profound spiritual experiences that are and you're finding it really difficult to integrate it into your human life, maybe when you do these purging style of practices, if that's kind of your thing, like your ayahuasca and that type of stuff, where possible, try and be present or set an intention to not disassociate your spiritualness from your human body. Because the moment you disassociate, the moment you detach, you detach, the body doesn't know what you've done. And then if the spiritual aspect of you doesn't know how to land that experience, then how does the body integrate it into your life? How do you integrate that experience? And I would say through gentle practices, through your journaling, through your meditating, music, sound waves, rest, and trying to remember what you experienced and how can you bring that experience and have a sense of enlightenment on a regular basis without naturally having to go back to those practices, because you want to be able to feel that connection on a regular basis. Your human body would be suffering if you were doing plant medicine every single day. There'd be too much of a disassociation that it'd be hard to kind of bring the soul and the human body back together. So hopefully that answered the question about some of the ways that we know that we have integrated it. So for those who are not going to that extreme, as I mentioned before, you will feel that you have embodied this lesson, this new way of being, this experience, and it'll become you, and you'll feel it. You'll feel it and you'll be like, yes, I've integrated that part, whether it's releasing trauma, whether it's accepting an aspect of ourselves, whether it's a new learning. So, I like that. Okay, so a prompt for you to sit with at your own time. It's just a little bit of like a universal insight. So, what if your pain didn't make you less spiritual? It made you more human. And being more human is what makes you divine. So as we now move over into the integration ritual, this is called I Honor My Becoming. And the title is A Rite of Passage Reflection. So I just want you to close your eyes, place one hand on your heart and one on your belly. And we're going to say out loud, this is not a punishment. This is a passage. I honor what has been lost. I honor what is being born. I am not broken. I am becoming. I walk with reverence, even when I cannot see the road. Let your breath anchor this truth in your body. And while you're doing so, gently ask yourself, what are you in the middle of right now? What if it's not chaos, but your soul preparing you for something deeper? And just stay with this question. You don't need to answer it. Just feel into it. Remember that you are not lost. You are not off path. You are walking the road that shapes you. This is your initiation. Our next episode, the nervous system of the soul, how to feel safe being here. Until then, let what's falling away fall. Let what's rising rise. And trust that you are becoming holy. Thank you for being here fully. If today's episode stirred something in you, if you have a follow-up question, a reflection you'd like to share, or a way this conversation aligned with where you are right now, I'd love to hear from you. And if there are specific questions you'd like me to ask Spirit in future episodes based on what's coming up for you, send me a direct message at here.to.be.human.podcast on the Instagram page. Remember, your voice, your questions, your presence, they're part of this journey too. And if you'd like to connect with me more deeply, you'll find everything, sessions, programs, and updates over at www.moderndayMedium.com.au or on my Instagram page, which is at modern.day.medium. This is your invitation. This is the return. And this is what it means to be human. So until next time, stay with yourself, stay with your soul, and keep choosing this sacred, messy, and miraculous life.